My name is Stephanie Milkey, and there's actually a lot that I want to talk about. But first, I actually need to apologize. So, if you're tuning in and you're like, hello, I've had some messages sent this morning in real time at this current time, it is afternoon. It's after lunchtime. I had said, oh my goodness, I'm going to be on this morning. I'm going through this book. We're going to do this together as a community. It's called Your Divine Fingerprint. And I want to walk you through what this page is looking like, what it usually looks like. I want to give you some tips and tricks, just what an average day can look like and maybe should look like for you as you're diving into being healthier and stronger. And yet, I actually want to talk to you a little bit about AQ and life lessons and something that if that actually happened to me. I labeled this live. I already messed up. My day hasn't gone the way that I wanted it to. It's the first Monday. It was the first workout. My day should have went flawless. And yet, it would be so interesting to know how many people might have one of those days where you're like, it didn't go the way that I wanted. It already hasn't gone the way that I wanted. I could either quit right now and be like, you know what, I'm going to restart tomorrow. Or you know what, this actually isn't going to work. I'm going to give up, get super frustrated. And I just sat here and I was like, this is what most people go through. And so in general, if you're brand new to the Keto Mom page, I want you to post new below and I would love to get to know you. Also, we're on lots of different platforms. I'm on Facebook on Keto Mom Secrets on Instagram. We're on YouTube. I've got my personal page. And I love that we can go on all different spots, but there's so many different things that we talk about here. In general, if you were here for the last 7.5 years, we talk about recipes. That's what people want, right? I also have realized there's so many different things that I'm going to walk you through even in just a minute of how basic and simple this setting goals, hitting goals, New Year's resolutions. My sister would say, she used a word. She said, I like the word, it wasn't intention, but she was like, I don't like the word goals. Everybody has their own thing that they're going after, regardless if you're going to say it or not. I'm sure you've got something that you're like, I'm going to do it this year. And then you might have a day where you're like, shoot, I messed up. Today is the 2nd. If you're listening to this live, if you're watching live, if you're on our Keto Mom Secrets podcast, like I could say, I already messed up. I did. Like we have guests in our home. My sister and her family are here. We're having a great time. Basically, we have been partying from Thursday until Wednesday, almost a week, right? And so we've been up late, right, babe? My husband's like, wait, my days aren't going 100% of what I thought. And so here on the page, we talk about recipes. We talk about life lessons. We talk about mindset, right? You can go to ketomomsecrets.com at any point in time and go through any books that we've gone through. I'm actually going to go through this book with you in just a second. I should have done it this morning. Why I didn't do it this morning? Because, oh my goodness, we stayed up till like 1 o'clock in the morning talking, right? Like, I'm not telling you I have an excuse. I'm going to tell you where my mind was this morning. I got up. I didn't have enough time to do a live. I actually didn't do a lot of my mindfulness this morning. I walked myself through being thankful and grateful, listening to something real quick as I was getting ready. I had to leave and get out the door. We went to CrossFit this morning. It was at a different time. I came home, adaptability. So something that I'll tell you that I think is super important as you're diving into a new year, a new day, a new month, new goals, like big aspirations for this year is having something called AQ. So if you have been watching any of the lives that I've done in this last week, I said some of the things I want to talk about are life lessons. Because in these life lessons that we've learned, this is what's going to help you not quit. This is going to help you when you have one of those days or people are staying in your home or you hit the snooze button accidentally or you didn't hear the alarm or you had a longer meeting or for whatever reason a kid got sick. Like whatever happens, there has to be some adaptability in your life for you to keep going and keep pushing forward. We've had to be adaptable all week. It's been great. We love our family. We have great conversations. We're staying up late. The cousins are having a great time. We're having really, like last night, we had an incredible conversation about life. And honestly, we talked about God and so many different things that our families were going through. And we were up till 1 o'clock in the morning, which therefore rolled into today. And all I want you to know is this. The only way you're going to fail this year in anything that you're going after, and I've said this often, is if you quit, right? So I could have easily got up this morning. It didn't go exactly the way I planned, but we went to the gym. We've made everybody a great breakfast. We've had some great conversations. I've went through my book. I want to talk with it about you. But if I were to I could easily get frustrated and go, but I didn't do it this morning. Wait, I'm throwing people off. I had somebody message me just a minute ago and she's like, wait, did you forget to do the book? We were starting the book today. 100%. And sometimes you can get through your morning and get to the afternoon and you might want to throw your hands up in the air and go, I'm just going to restart tomorrow. And then you spiral out of control for the day, whether it's your attitude, things you choose to eat, skipping a workout, whatever that looks like for you. I want you to know that there has to be some adaptability on this journey. There has to be. That is a life lesson. We've talked about awareness and we've talked about having EQ, controlling your emotions. We've talked about the power of your words. And then I would say the next life lesson simply is understanding adaptability, AQ. And if you're like, if the day doesn't go my way, I lose it, I get frustrated, I get angry, I throw my hands up in the air, then that means you have a low AQ, like your adaptability quotient. If you're like, you know what, I would actually say that our family has a really high AQ level. Like, it doesn't mean that I'm always happy about it. It doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that I'm not sitting here like, right before this, I was like, man, I did actually not start the year off how I intended to start the year off. And that's okay, right? It's okay to be like this. All right, I've got goals. I've done a couple things to walk our family, and my husband and I have had great conversations. We have 4 dogs. Clearly, I have to be adaptable every single day with these dogs or lives. Like, I could easily get frustrated with some things, and then I have to go, you know what? This is called life. We all are doing it. We all have, it's like the game of life. And how well can you handle it? When things come at you and you're like, shoot, I actually didn't plan for that, but it's okay. I'll make some rearranging. I'll choose my attitude. We're going to talk about the power of moments in a second. But I hands down believe that if you can go into this year, and we're already in it, we're in it. We're here. Like, oh my goodness, it took a whole month to get here. We were preparing and planning, and now shoot, I already messed up. It's day 2. Don't quit. Like, keep this phrase in your mind. The only way I fail is if I quit, and I'm going to have to be adaptable. Life lesson, I think we've done number 4, right? I want to go through this with you, but I really talk about, like, what are we doing for this year? What are we doing for this year? And then I was sitting here thinking, I actually want you to also, as you're planning for the whole year, take it month by month, right? If I were to say, let's have a 30-day transformation, what would that look like for you? And if I were to give you, I wrote down 5 basic things. You guys, I talk about this all the time. 5 things that if you can get it into your mind of what this is going to look like for you to have a 30-day transformation, to have a 30-day, if we're just talking about your health, either losing weight, gaining muscle, feeling better. And it boiled down to these things. It boiled down to number 1 was mindset. We're going to go through this a couple pages in a second. Usually, when my day goes how I have intended it to go, we've already done this. It would be a morning live. I apologize for those who were like, hello, it's morning. Are you sleeping in? Right? Thank you for being adaptable. Thank you for being adaptable. Thank you for giving me grace. You know, it's interesting. You can watch somebody online and you think you know them. So I'll be real honest. Like, I am a very direct person, and yet I don't want to hurt people's feelings. And then we did a video the other day. We made a reel, right? Because people like to watch a 30-second, like, just tell me what to do.
YouTube short.
A YouTube short. Okay, listen to this. I have more people that'll say, just tell me what to do. Tell me what you want to do. Well, how do I lose the weight? How do I get healthy? So there was a YouTube short that was made on YouTube. I'm not going to lie, I don't have a ton of traction. I don't have a ton of viewers on YouTube. There was one video that was posted, and all I was doing was I was like, listen, I gave very directive action. Don't eat this. You don't need to snack all day. And I have never seen more hateful comments in my life over one directive post. It's so interesting how, I know another life lesson that we talked about last week was not being offended. It's so funny how people will say, tell me what to do, and then you tell them what to do, and they get so mad because you're telling them what to do. And then yet you watch me, but you might not actually know me, right? And so it was so funny because we teetered on this, like, do we take the video down? Like, this is not how I want YouTube to start. Like, wow, people are really offended that I'm telling them not to snack. Who are you to tell me not to snack? And I'm like, who are you? You're on my page. It's called Keto Mom. Clearly you want to lose some weight. Like, listen, you're going to have people in your life that are either going to like throw something at you, give you some negative feedback. We were joking and we were like, man, there's a whole bunch of Karens out today, but I actually have some great friends that are named Karen. But we actually decided to delete the video because I'm like, oh my goodness, like the amount of hate, and that could have wrecked my day. And I was like, you know what? Delete the video. I actually don't care. If they want to know who I am, they can come and figure me out. They can come and ask questions. They can realize like I really do want to help and coach you. If you want directive coaching, go, Stephanie, tell me what to do. If you're like, my feelings get hurt easily, can you go easy on me? Stephanie, tell me what to do. But I'm going to tell you something. Over this next year, you're going to have to be quite adaptable in what people are telling you, things you're watching, understanding that you have goals and you have things you want to go after, and it's not going to always go your way. It's not. And it's okay. And if you can realize, like, I'm going to take a breather. I know what I want to do. My day maybe looks different, but it's okay. And the only thing that I want you to have in this concept in your mind is like, I just can't quit. I just can't quit. I'm going to not restart, but I'm going to keep going. All right. Here's what I want you to think about. If I gave you 5 things, sorry, I deviated a little bit. Mindset is super important. We're covering that here on all platforms for Keto Mom, right? Usually in the morning, if I don't have to be adaptable, we'll go through a book. We're going through this book in just a second. Number 2, intermittent fasting. I had some incredible conversations this morning because I was on a Zoom with some of our team members talking about how we're coaching people on intermittent fasting and the amount of stories, and even myself. So my husband and I have been way more intentional with intermittent fasting. If you want to lose weight, if you want to lose some fat, if you want to feel better, I'm going to hands down tell you that if you follow this process and you get yourself to intermittent fast, I've never felt better in my life. Steve, would you agree?
Feel great.
Feel incredible. And I actually am not even eating before I go to the gym, which I'm doing CrossFit, which like that might seem great, but like I feel like it's an actual hard workout. And so I heard some incredible stories this morning and they're like, oh my goodness, I feel amazing. We feel amazing because we have tools that are taking us through the process, right? So that in itself, like I'm using this kit behind me. I'm using an intermittent fasting kit that gets me up in the morning with my ketones. I drink my electrolytes. I drank my water. I had my protein right before I went to the gym. Felt amazing, came home, made some breakfast for everybody. I intermittent fasted and I ate after I was done with my morning. Hands down, if your goal is to feel better, intermittent fasting is key. I really believe that. Go Google benefits of intermittent fasting. Just do a really quick Google search and figure out, you can read it. It's incredible for you. So mindset, intermittent fasting, I'm going to say low carb meals, like food. Part of one of the things we'll be talking about and we continue to talk about is food, right? So eating a lunch and a dinner, a snack and a dinner, some low carb meals. Don't overcomplicate this. I'm not saying keto. Some of you are paleo, some of you are Whole30, whatever your healthy is. Drinking your water. So your water is important. What are you drinking? I'm always like, what is in your cup? Sugar, water, energy drinks, ketones. Like, what are you drinking? I use ketones as a fuel. If you've never drank them, we need to talk about them because that's honestly why I'm here today. 7.5 years later, I actually don't think that I could have stuck with the Keto Mom page or even the recipes, the diet in itself. I actually would have quit. I started with ketones. I learned how to make better choices. I learned and really implemented the power of mindset. I learned how to intermittent fast. I learned that I really just need to keep a water bottle with me at all times and drink water. I joined a gym. I learned the power of community. I learned the power of accountability. And I learned simple things like to not eat when I'm not hungry, right? I learned like, oh my goodness, to not eat when I'm emotional. I learned things like I actually need something to give me energy to keep me fueled up for the day because I'm a mom. We have 4 girls. We homeschool. Like I need my brain operating at an optimal level as long as my body so I can be the best version of me for my husband and my kids. And I would not hands down promise you I probably would not be here. I would not be here physically on social media sharing if I didn't have tools to help me along the way. And one of them is ketones. One of them is, even this week, this intermittent fasting kit. Hands down incredible. The education is incredible. The science is incredible. If you feel like this is really hard, there are things that can make it simpler. I don't like the word easy, but there's things that I can help you with to make a simple process. So if at any point in time you want to know more about intermittent fasting kit, just post fasting in the comments and I'll share it with you. If you want to know what drinking ketones means and what that looks like, post trial in the comment and we'll chat. So mindset is important. Intermittent fasting to me is important. Low carb meals. I'm not saying keto is important, like being mindful of your food. What are you drinking is important. And lastly, moving your body. Like, are you getting your steps in? Are you going to CrossFit? Are you doing some yoga? Like, what is it that works for you? And those 5 things, if done consistently over time, and you're going to have to be adaptable, and you're going to have to be okay with not every day looking how you exactly want it. But when you implement adaptability, working on EQ, having an awareness of why you do the things that you do, like part of our conversation last night with our family was just sitting back and asking why you do things, not just being like somebody, even me, like if I tell you to do something, I'll tell you intermittent fasting is incredible, but go do some research. I'll tell you ketones are amazing, but let me show you the research. I'll tell you, you know what? You should be reading books, like 2 powerful things that will change your life. Hands down, will change your life forever, is reading and actually the people that you surround yourself with. If you are reading good books and working on your mindset and you've got good people around you, your life will look different in 1 year. That's not even talking about eating food. I'm not even talking about ketones, which I think are life-changing. But the books that you're reading, what you're putting in your mind, and the people will change your life forever, good or bad. Like if you don't do any of it, the likelihood of you being the same person you are today is probably likely or worse, right? And then there's things I'm going to help you with. EQ, AQ, awareness. What are you eating? The simplicity of like, stop eating if you're bored. Stop eating over excessively eating. Go move your body. Drink some water, right? Like this, it's not meant to be easy, but it's a very simple process done consistently over time will change your life. Take it 30 days at a time. Take it 1 day at a time. Take it 10 days at a time, whatever it is, but figure out the tools you need. Send me a message and I would love to help. All right. At this very point in time, how are you guys feeling? Do you feel good? How is your day going? Do you feel like your day is going? My day is going great. Please hear me on this. Like it's actually fun. We're having great conversations. And yet in my perfect world, I would have had a lot more done this morning. And it is what it is. So, and grab your ketones. They're super great. Okay, here's what I actually like to do every morning. And I'm going to give you a very, very basic thing to think about. And if you're going through the book, hey, if you have the book, let me know you have the book. Mornings will be the morning live. You can always watch the replay because it's always recorded. And so here's the book and here's how it starts. Okay, so I already gave you like steps to get healthier. 5 basic steps of mindset, intermittent fasting, low carb meals, water, and moving your body. Like we can get nitty gritty details for sure. This would be I feel like one of the most important pieces. And he talks about in the beginning of the book, your defining moments. And he goes this, defining moments, we all have them. What's important is not the actual moment. It's how we react, which is so funny because we just talked about this. It's how you react or respond to the moment that really matters. By our own choice or not, please ignore my dogs. A defining moment, I am going to have to talk to my kids about that because it actually does drive me crazy. I'm not going to lie. I'll be adaptable. They drive me nuts when they're barking, when I'm talking to you. All right. By your own choice or not, a defining moment is an occurrence, a situation, a catastrophe, or a breakthrough opportunity. So, you guys, it's funny. The very beginning of the book is what we already talked about last week if you watch the lives. How will you react or respond to things in your life? And it's going to determine if you're going to hit your goals or not. That's it. Will you react out of frustration? Will you respond out of like awareness and actually being able to handle what you're going through? He goes, every day we have a defining moment based on action, whether an action we have taken or an action somebody else has taken in regards to us. Our decision to define the moment is what gives you power in the moment. So in the end, we are the ones who determine which are the defining moments in our life. Today, Today can be a very new defining moment for you. And I hope that every time you learn something, you make that a defining moment. Like you have a new awareness. You have a new, oh, I've never heard AQ before. Oh, I've never heard the term EQ. Oh, you're right. This doesn't have to be hard. It's not easy, but the simple process of following these 5 basic rules or a guideline, if I can just stick with this 100% at the end of 30 days, 60 days, 90 days into a year, it will be completely different. And I have all of you have an awareness. The power of books and the people you're around will change your life. So he says this: your past can be something that you choose to help define what you want, what you don't want, how you want to be, or how you don't want to be, and maybe most importantly, who you want to be and how you want to spend the rest of your life. Oh my goodness, that was so much to say. In general, today you get to choose, right? To either live in the past, move on, and create moments in the future. It's all in how you respond or react to people and people around you and yourself as well. You get to choose. I think there was one more thing. He tells a ton of stories. I'm not reading the stories to you. I would actually encourage you to get the book because he had an incredible moment in his life where he basically shares how he should have died at a very young age and a story about his grandmother. But he says this: when you understand the power we have to choose how a moment will affect us, we can then begin to define the moments instead of the moments defining us. It's at this point that moment plus momentum equals a miracle. So, as you're going through your days in this next couple weeks, maybe you haven't decided to set goals yet. Maybe you're trying to figure still out what it's going to look like for you. And now you're like, oh my goodness, it's the second and I've already lost it. Like, I don't know. This is a moment. This is a defining moment where you get to go, I'm going to choose. Here's a couple things I'm going to go after. Here are some of my goals. I'm going to message Keto Mom Stephanie and I'm going to tell her what I'm working at. I'm going to ask for help. I'm going to tune into the lives. I'm going to work on my mindset. I'm going to be adaptable. This could be a moment. I'm going to learn to be adaptable and I'm going to respond appropriately so that I can truly become the best version of me this year. That's the goal, right? I hope that's one of your goals, is to be the best version of you. So this was quite long. Thank you for being adaptable with me. Thank you for tuning in. I would love for you to share the live, tag a friend below, say, hey, why don't you join me? We need to be more adaptable together. Hey, we're working on our awareness and our EQ. Hey, on the Keto Mom page, you're not just getting recipes, but we're going through life lessons to help you in all areas of your life. So this is the book that we'll continue to go through, as well as, again, you can go to ketomomsecrets.com, click on recipes, click on book club. You can ask me questions. I will come on. There's recipes shared on all platforms all day long. Talk about ketones, talk about my life, talk about homeschooling, talk about marriage. Like, you're about to see my crazy family again. I don't mean crazy in a bad way, crazy in a good way. And so I'm here to help. And if at any point in time you're like, this is not for me, I'm not actually offended either. Like the wonderful ladies on YouTube who decided I was too direct, I want to be like, man, you should go watch me on other platforms. Sometimes I'm direct if you need it. Sometimes I'm not. It just depends. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have an incredible day. I look forward to chatting with so many of you. Whatever you need, ask below, post fasting in the comments if you want to know more about what we're doing.